or grape tomatoes, a great flavor shortcut for some cheese, and then baby spinach. This gives us that added nutrition to the meal and round it out. Per usual, when it comes to my ingredient counting dinners, you know that pantry staples do not count. Pantry staples include things like onions and garlic, which you should have at all times. Of course, all our dried spices, salt and pepper, olive oil, butter. You get the idea. Stock that pantry, then you only need 5 ingredients. Let's go. I'm gonna start by seasoning and then crisping up my chicken thighs. This is what's going to lend the flavor throughout the whole dish. Chicken thighs are one of the best, most affordable proteins, and chicken in general is high in protein. So I'm just gonna season it simply with salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Just, measure with your heart, people. Don't feel like you have to stick to the exact recipe measurements. All right, and then this goes down into a skillet. I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil just to help them get going. You're gonna place these skin side down and let them cook for at least 5 minutes without touching them. Skin automatically tightens up. Once it's down, season the other side, and then you gotta learn to walk away. I would say go prep the other ingredients, but other than chop an onion, you really don't have to do anything else. Cook it for about 1 minute on the second side, and then take them out. They're not gonna be cooked at this point. Some of this skin shrunk a little too much. That's because my pan was a little hot when I first put it in, but it's fine. It has served its purpose. Look at all that great flavor it has rendered out. I'm just gonna keep that in there because it's going to cook the rest of the dish. Going in with the onion. The onion's gonna help lift some of that flavor off. I'll give that just about a minute. Now we're making the stew. To further lift the flavor, we're just gonna go in with our tomatoes. You can cut these in half if you want. I'm just gonna cook them down. Once they start to burst, they'll release that acid to lift off the rest of the flavor. This is how you clean your skillet. Also going in with about a 1/4 cup of water. And now we're just gonna cook this until those tomatoes start to break down and burst a little bit. And now we go in with our white beans. Gonna go in with about another 1/4 cup of water. We're gonna get a good bit of flavor, but I'm gonna add in just a little bit more salt and pepper here. This is gonna be one of those good rustic meals. It's still cold outside. This is gonna warm you up. I promised high protein, which we are definitely getting from the chicken and also the beans, but the beans also give us that fiber we're looking for. So I'm gonna add the chicken back in at this point and let it finish cooking. So it just kind of simmers in this. It's gonna give off a little more liquid too as it cooks. Any juices that have accumulated, let them go in. And I'm gonna cover this and let it simmer until that chicken's cooked. I love a one-pan meal. It's been about 25 to 27 minutes. That chicken is cooked through, and look at all those juices that have come. This is a true stew now. I'm gonna take the chicken out. I'm gonna stir in that spinach. I'm doing the whole box because we're trying to get all the fiber we can, and it's gonna cook down to nothing. And then I'm going in with Boursin cheese. This is just like the biggest flavor booster. It's gonna add creaminess. Even though it's pretty creamy from the beans, you could really use this as an optional ingredient. Half is really all you need. You can put the whole block in if you want to. That's just one of those secret shortcut ingredients when you're trying to cut or minimize ingredients. Doesn't that look good? And it doesn't look like it was only 5 ingredients. We're talking, the chicken just created so much magic in this one pan. Give it a little taste. My God, that is good. I just add a little more pepper. Let me show you how good this looks. And if you're not watching your carbs, get the crusty bread. This is even better than I thought it was gonna be. Start with our white bean stew. Chicken on top. You can garnish if you want. We're just keeping it at 5 ingredients for this one. High protein, high fiber, 100% delicious right here. How do it taste? Let me tell you. It's really hard to mess up chicken thighs, y'all. Look how perfectly juicy that is. If you're not cooking with chicken thighs very often, you are really missing out. Definitely the best cut of chicken. This is comforting. It's so full of flavor. It does kind of make you feel good. Like it doesn't feel like you're eating anything, unhealthy. It's definitely hearty also. Besides the little bit of Boursin cheese, those beans lend so much creaminess. You get the juicy burst of tomato. Chicken's cooked perfectly. I hate when we start off so good because it's gonna be hard to beat this one, but I'll try. Next up, 5 ingredient salmon teriyaki bowls. This dinner incorporates a couple great shortcuts. Of course, we're starting with salmon, high protein indeed. It's also one of the easiest fishes to cook. Edamame, just frozen shelled edamame. This is gonna add fiber and more protein. I'm also using frozen, pre-cooked jasmine rice. You can make your own. You can just buy the pouches. You can do whatever. You wanna get a good store-bought teriyaki sauce, not one that's like super thick. I like this one that has, a bunch of seeds in it. It's on the thinner side. And then avocado. This is just gonna add great flavor, a little creaminess, and it's gonna add to the texture moment to make that perfect bite. Start out by lining your baking sheet with a little foil because teriyaki sauce is sticky. Okay, when you go to cook it, you don't want that mess in your pan. You can give it a spray also, and you're just gonna place your salmon fillets right down on it. And I'm gonna do just a little bit of salt and pepper. And then you're gonna drizzle a little bit of your teriyaki sauce on top of the salmon, and then we'll use more later to top our bowls. And you can just rub it or brush it over the top. This is gonna help give the salmon a good crust. So this goes into the oven 450 degrees for just about 10 to 12 minutes. You'll know your salmon is done when it starts to kind of have that white stuff kind of come out the sides a little bit. So it's got its own little internal thermometer. And that gives me enough time to make our rice and edamame. And you're just gonna prepare both according to package directions. Look at this. And you can see what I was saying, how the white is kind of coming out the sides a little bit. That tells you it's done. Rice on the bottom. See, I like doing bowls and things like that because they're kind of build your own, and my kids love that because they can make it with whatever toppings they like. Edamame on next. About a half a cup is a serving here, which is like 9 grams of protein and 8 grams of fiber. It's good. All right, then I'm gonna take 1 salmon fillet per bowl and just kind of flake it on top. See, it just happens so easily because it's cooked so perfectly. Now I'm going in with some avocado. This is really just gonna help make this, we've got all kinds of things going on. That edamame is gonna be slightly like crisp tender. Then you're gonna have this creamy avocado. It's kind of buttery, and it goes great with that kind of tangy teriyaki sauce. I've warmed up a little more of that teriyaki sauce to drizzle over the top. Optional garnish, but I'm going for it. Some green onion. That looks divine. Salmon teriyaki bowls, only 5 ingredients. I'm excited about this perfect bite. You can probably just go straight in and come out with it. This has so much flavor. That salmon is cooked perfectly. It's so buttery. This is another one that just kind of makes you feel good when you eat it. You feel healthy, you feel satisfied. That's the family friendly. Teriyaki, has a little bit of a sweetness. You can add a little kick to balance that out. Next up, I've always got something for that Taco Tuesday. This 5-ingredient dinner is pork and black bean tostadas. Lots of protein from the pork. I'm doing pork tenderloin. You could also do a pork shoulder. Ingredient number 2, black beans. To season it, taco sauce. You could also do enchilada sauce, something that's really like concentrated and potent is what we want here. And we're gonna serve it up on tostada shells. I know sometimes when we're doing high protein, we're doing low carb. These are not that bad. And they're just freaking delicious. And then, one of my favorite shortcuts when we're trying to make 5-ingredient dinners are the bagged salads because they have multiple ingredients within one bag. And this guacamole crunch is gonna be delicious on top of this, and it rounds out the meal. Just gonna simply place our pork tenderloins straight into the slow cooker, and then we are simply pouring over our taco sauce. This kind of gives us that taco seasoning packet, but also the liquid tomato base like a salsa. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1 special here. We can check for seasoning later, but I'm just gonna pour this whole bottle over the pork, set it, and forget it. You can go low here, 4 to 6 hours, or high for about 3 hours. Pork tenderloin is done. Just gonna transfer it to another cutting board and kind of shred it up a little bit. Then to this flavorful liquid, I'm gonna go in with our black beans and kind of let them soak in some of that flavor. I'm gonna give them a little bit of a mash. That way I can kind of spread it onto the tostada, and then it's really gonna absorb some of that liquid. That's happening. I'm gonna shred this pork up a little bit. All right, so after it's shredded, I'm just gonna go in with a knife and kind of chop it up a little bit so that the pieces aren't too long. That is ready to go. I'm just gonna transfer it to a dish. So I like to set this up kind of like stations, like a taco station. I'm gonna spoon some of this juice over it. Do that before you put the beans in. Some of the juices, keep that moistened a little bit. And we build our tostada. Put some beans on the bottom, top it with our good pork. And then our salad mix, whatever Southwestern salad mix you want, right on top. I'm going on with a little more taco sauce.